Hello everyone, my name is Danish Buns, and my god, it's been a long time. Welcome back to this episode of A Noob's Review, the show where I ramble on for an uncertain amount of time and slowly destroy your ability to hear using my incredibly nasally voice. Today I will be talking about Planetside 2, the newly released MMO FPS from Sony Online Entertainment. This free-to-play shooter was released on November 20th and is easily accessible through Steam as well as Planetside2.com. Game mechanics. The game takes place in Araxis, a hotly contested planet being fought over by three separate factions. Due to the planet's large amount of production facilities, the Terran Republic, the New Conglomerate, and the Venu Society battle for control in order to better their standing. After choosing their faction, a player can then immediately enter one of three conflict zones, with each zone being a different continent covered in wildly diverse habitats. From frosted Arctic tundras to tropical paradise, to deserts more barren than my love life, your war zone is constantly changing on these massive 64 square kilometer maps. Scattered across these zones are varying capture points based upon different manufacturing facilities, each of which contain unique characteristics such as their strategic design or important secondary objectives such as nearby spawning points or shield generators. In order to capture these objectives, each faction must take advantage of squads and platoons, as well as other important commanding tools. These tools allow for quick and easy control over a large number of players, enabling those in leadership positions to correctly achieve all required objectives. Tying these aspects in with transport vehicles like Galaxies or Sunderers can help players effectively maintain pressure on capture areas for long periods of time, leading to very interesting and dynamic conflicts. There are quite a wide variety of vehicles in this game, ranging from small ATV transports to large battle tanks. Combine this with the impressive variety when it comes to vehicle customization, and it is plain to see that each player can develop whatever style of combat vehicle they require. Character customization also has an extensive amount of variation, allowing for players to equip whatever class they desire with specific weapons, all of which have different features such as fire rate or effective damage. The classes themselves are also very unique, each of which cater to a different kind of player, from the combat medic to a heavy assault trooper. All these aspects then tie together to make one of the most interesting MMO games that I have ever played. Positives. One of the more impressive aspects of this game is that the conflict is constant and never-ending. No matter what time of day you hop in, you will always find yourself in the thick of battle. Also, for players who tend to die copious amounts, such as myself, you will find that spawning never leaves you far from the action, as long as your team has managed to capture specific spawning areas near the opponents, or has held the required capture areas. This all leads to very intense and enjoyable gameplay, and honestly, it helps me feel something other than worthless, even with my 0.33 kill-death ratio. Another interesting aspect of Planetside 2 is the wide variety of class types, each of which cater to their own special player. All classes have their own unique weapons and a special ability which provides another layer of depth for that character. For instance, the combat medic starts out with a medical applicator, which is capable of healing and reviving players, and they also have a skill that allows them to heal themselves. In contrast, the Infiltrator class has a special tool that allows them to capture enemy vehicle and weapon spawns, and they also have the special ability to become invisible in order to sneak behind enemy lines. All these classes therefore feel very separated and can be used in specific situations, which is constantly called for and requires a player to switch between them in order to remain incredibly effective. Finally, one of the most impressive attributes of this game is the wild difference in the conflict regions. The three separate continents each host an extensive amount of habitats and facility designs, leading to constantly changing gameplay. There is something awe-inspiring about fighting for a small capture point sitting on the edge of a massive cliff, or a large facility perfectly fitted inside a huge crater. This scenery helps set the mood for each engagement, and can easily be changed by simply switching continents whenever the battles become too ordinary. Negatives. Now on to some of my complaints. My first issue with this game is that some of the weapons seem near impossible to unlock. Since the game is a free-to-play game, it is expected that the cash shop items will provide some sort of equipment. Of course, our hope for this equipment is that it is not overpowered or is fairly attainable by players who do not put money forward to attain these items. However, it seems that some equipment sells for a ridiculous sum of 1,000 cert points. So, to give you an example, a player can gain cert points for every kill or capture point they manage to take, which leads to a player generally achieving approximately 25 points an hour. In order to unlock one of these higher tier weapons, a player has to play 40 hours, or they can spend $7 to grab that item. This seems a little extensive, making it near impossible for players to attain these weapons without throwing large sums of money at the game or wasting incredibly large amounts of time in front of a screen just to unlock one single item. Another issue I had with Planetside 2 is that there is no progression. Now I know what you're thinking.
Danish Buns, this ain't no RPG, this is the real thing. Go back to your Hello Kitty dating sim.
Now hold on there, Jim, that's a little bit offensive, but just let me get my point across. Battling incessantly over capture points does get quite boring if there's nothing to achieve from capturing them. This endless war zone enables for constant conflict, but never gives the player the feeling that they're actually achieving something. I like to mention World vs. World from Guild Wars 2 to show my point. In that system, the servers are paired against each other for 2-week-long conflicts. At the end of the conflict, the better server goes on to battle more challenging opponents, while the weaker server drops in their respective tier. This gives players the desire to win, as they want to see their server be ranked number 1. This desire also appears to be lacking from Planetside 2, as the conflict never ends or changes, leading to the same monotonous, never-ending conflict which can bore people relatively quickly. However, I would like to say that, other than those few flaws, I've really enjoyed Planetside 2. It brought a refreshing new look to an entirely overdone FPS and MMO genre, and really had me interested from the get-go. If any of you are considering playing it, do yourself a favor and try it out with some friends. I would definitely rate this game 8 out of 10. I'd also like to note that in the month of January, 3 prominent YouTubers, those being Total Biscuit, Cnanners, and Tobuscus, will all be heading their own companies in a battle that will most definitely reverberate through the fabric of time itself. You can head over to Planetside 2 through the link that I'll be providing to check that out if you're interested. Anyways, my name is Danish Buns, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Do me a favor and like and subscribe to my channel if you found it enjoyable. And if you haven't found it enjoyable or useful, then feel free to harass me via the comment section below. But just make sure to end it with a nice I love you, just to know that I am still welcome on my own channel page. Alright, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.